welcome to my channel. My name is Emma, if you haven't been here before, and I'm sitting currently in my lounge in my little drawing corner here and talking to you, and that's an absolute pleasure to do so. I can't believe another week has gone by, so many things are happening, and thank you for finding me if it's your first time here. I live in a very beautiful part of the countryside. I live in Cumbria in the northwest of England, and I'm very privileged to do so. I feel very blessed. So I look out of my window at beautiful fells, what they call the hills around here. There's just countryside and sheep, and my view is pretty much unchanging, although obviously down the centuries and the thousands and millions of years that the earth has been in existence, it will have changed hugely, obviously, but to me it's an unchanging view. The light changes, the weather changes, but mostly the actual view doesn't change. And I love that, even if it's just looking out of this window here, or I look out at my neighbours' houses. I've known this view for a long time, and I'm finding that very, very reassuring at the moment, because I don't know about you, there's been so much change going on, and it's just phenomenal. We were talking last night at my yoga class that this sort of feeling of people are feeling things are a bit chaotic, feeling that they have no control over things, and very much that we are waiting for something. And I absolutely get that. I feel as though the things I've been doing recently, I've been starting things off and then just waiting and doing it and doing it and doing it and seeing what happens, like I did with my little room that I showed you last week. And sometimes things just seem like they're overwhelming, they're not worth starting, because why would you bother? You might as well just go and, lie on the sofa and put a blanket over your head. But to me, I've learned that I change the energy, I change how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling it's all too much, I change it by saying, well, what one small thing can I do that will make a difference right now in this moment? Or, what one tiny thing can I do for somebody else perhaps? Or, if I smile at this person I'm meeting walking down the street, maybe that'll change their day, and it'll certainly change mine, because I'll have smiled and changed my sort of feeling inside me. My endorphins will kick in or whatever. So it's about doing small things, and I've certainly found that recently. It's been an epic year. I don't know how 2025 has been for you, but it's been pretty epic, and those of you who've been following me for a very long time, and certainly since the beginning of the year, everything has just changed so much in my life, hugely, and all for the better. But it has been a very bumpy ride, sometimes quite scary, sometimes totally, as I say, overwhelming, not knowing quite what to do. But I do find if I just stop and just don't do anything for a minute or two, and then tune into myself, to my inner voice, to the calm part of me that's not panicking and feeling like it's all too much, I can actually make something change for the better, improve things, start moving things along, if you like. So what I'm doing in here, I will show you next week perhaps. I've been painting their wall yellow, one wall. And I'm noticing, for years we have lived with a white house. Okay, when we first did the house, it was a barn basically. It was a series of little buildings. We did an extension to it. We painted it all white with a distemper paint, because it's a very old house. We've got 2 foot thick walls in some places, and you can't just use normal paints on that, because that stops the wall breathing. So we have very breathable paint on our walls. And I've just had this massive urge to start putting colour. I've always used colour in furnishings and cushions and curtains, and I'm sure you do the same in your house. You have the things around you that you love, but I've had such huge clear outs the last few years. There's very little left. It's like I'm living in a whole new house, and the change of putting colour on the walls is just massive. So I started very gently with my little arty room that I showed you last week, with a very soft goldy colour, very gentle, a soft grey colour. But boy oh boy, the colour in the lounge, I will show you, it is something else. It is, they call it sunflower yellow on the colour chart, and now I've got 2 coats on it and I'm nearly finished. It's looking amazing, but it's changed. What I had to do was I listened to the intuition that said paint it yellow. You need to paint this wall yellow, because I was lying on the sofa looking at it thinking, I'm so done with this drab white greyish wall. And the intuition came, paint it yellow. And I went, you're joking. So since that came in, I bought the paint, I've been painting the wall, but I've also taken down, we had old curtains that have been there for decades. I've got an old rug in here, likewise. Things that were okay in their day, things that did for, you know, as curtains and rugs and whatever. I was very grateful to have them. We had a family life going on. It was always busy. There was always things happening. You know, that was fine. And I lived with it, but I feel as though now it's about us putting our stamp on the place. Truly who we are now. But it's been this I knew that I had to trust this voice that was saying, you know, paint this wall yellow. And I had to talk to my other half and say, look, how do you feel about this? So we discussed it, we worked through it. My feeling was it was going to be an energy changer, a house changer, a me changer, but it was also reflecting back to me. I don't know how many of you work with your chakras. If that's an alien word to you, it's a word I came across years ago when I was learning to do yoga with a lovely yoga teacher, and she used to put a diagram up on the board, on the wall, with these energy centers going through your body, and these are what connect you to the energy all around, to source, to the universe, whatever your belief system is. You know, you don't have to believe in any of it, but I'm finding it very interesting because yellow is very much about solar plexus. Now your solar plexus, I'm sure you'll know, is your kind of your tummy button area, and it's where we sort of keep our personality, our personal will, who we truly are. So we have these higher centres which connect us to, you know, whatever, the etheric regions they say. And, you know, you don't have to believe any of this, okay, but to me it's reflecting to me about I'm actually stepping into being me, and I have been doing this all year, particularly since I got rid of all my textiles and I'm now doing drawing and painting more. It's as though the house is saying, come on, you need to show who you are. But it's also very grounding. I think it's quite a grounding colour. It's a very earthy colour. And I'll tell you what, it's been a joy to paint this week because it's been very wet and rainy and grey. So on a grey day, it's not entirely been easy when you're putting yellow onto yellow. As I'm sure you know, when you paint a room, whatever colour you paint it, trying to see where you've just been is quite tricky. So I'm very excited for this. The room is in chaos. I'm sort of crammed into the corner here, and I've ordered some fantastic, I'm wearing pink because there's a clue here. There's going to be some pink curtains going to go. We have a big doorway that doesn't have doors on. We just have curtains that we pull across to make it cosy in the winter. And I'm keeping the curtains that are behind me. And it's very interesting because I'm keeping old things, but I'm adding new colours into the mix, and somehow, by some magic, it's all going to come together. So I'm very excited. As I say, a bit chaotic, a bit like come in and do a bit of painting, come in and do a bit of painting. And it's taken me 2 weeks to paint this wall. I've just done literally a section at a time. And it's been lovely. I've put some nice music on. I've really quite enjoyed the relaxing thing of just putting paint on the wall. It didn't require any thinking. I just had to make sure I did my edges reasonably. And because we have very wobbly walls, to be honest, like I used to say when I was doing textiles, celebrate the wonk, because that's, you know, that's how life is. Life is not perfect, and our walls are definitely not perfect. They're full of bumps and lumps and wobbly bits. So my edges are very much like this, really quite funny, because you can't make a straight wall out of something that isn't straight. Yeah, so that's been the other thing, and I think the other thing is tackling what seems impossible. Earlier in the year when I changed my YouTube channel and went to Substack, it seemed impossible. I've just bought a new laptop because we've had to change up, I don't know, this Windows system, whatever it is, da-de-da, computer speak. Somebody's decided we have to all change. So I decided I would actually go with a new laptop, but boy oh boy, I'm trying to learn it. I'm trying to put into it what I want. And I nearly threw it out the window the other day, I'll be absolutely honest, it was driving me crazy. But again, I've decided there's no rush, I'll take my time, I'll do it a little bit at a time, like I tackle everything. So the other thing I've been doing, something that seemed overwhelming, we're going to get a new bathroom put in downstairs because this one's been in a very long time, it's looking very tired, the bath is really worn out, literally worn out. And we want to put a more modern toilet in that uses less water and things like this. So we're going to modernise it next year sometime, and I've kind of let it slip, to be honest. It's been a room, I go in and have a bath, I don't have my glasses on, So I can't see it. I've tried to keep it clean, I've tried to keep it reasonable, but it was getting very, what I'd call beyond the pale. And so I just thought, well, I'm not going to get it done till next year. What am I going to do? I can't bear to keep coming in here looking at it, looking so awful. So I got a toothbrush and a little cloth, and every time I've gone in over the last 2 weeks, I've cleaned a little bit. Because it's got wood panelling, which is lovely. I really love it. It's got a very old wall. It's very wonky and the plaster's very wobbly on it. And so it collects muck and dirt and horrible stuff. So I've literally gone in with a toothbrush and my cloth. I've done a little area every day, and now I'm going in and going, wow, this is amazing. I even did behind the radiator where all the dust collects. We've cleaned the fan out because the fan was full of, unbelievable what collects in the fan in your bathroom. Ooh, don't go looking. Or maybe you should. So again, something that seemed pointless, overwhelming, why bother, why try? And now I am loving it. I go in and I go, oh, this is really nice. We still need to change it because it has got some issues, and yeah, we've had to pull some panelling out where it's got wet behind the toilet and things like that. So we have got to tackle it next year. It's going to be a messy job. But in the meantime, every time I go in, I'm saying, well, which area can I clean today? So it's back to that thing of seems impossible, seems undoable, why bother? It's overwhelming, but if you just do that one tiny little thing, you notice it. Maybe nobody else will notice it. Maybe nobody else will see it. Doesn't matter. You see it. And that's been a game changer for me recently. Not in the past, I'd have wanted the whole room cleaned and bottomed and done. Now, a bit like painting my wall, I've done it a bit at a time. And I've been very happy to do that because then I do a little bit, then I go and do something else. So it doesn't get boring or too much. I just do a bit and then I go back in and say, wow, that's a difference. So I think it's been about making a difference. My whole year's been making a difference, changing, riding the wave of change, trying to hang on in there. So I'm very grateful if you're still here. I don't know what changes have been going on for you in your life. You know, have you suddenly found yourself doing things totally differently? Let me know in the comments. You know, if it's totally scary out there, what are you doing to hang on to some sanity? If everything's a bit chaotic, how are you coping with the waiting or the changes? You know, let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it and share some ideas maybe of how other people are coping with things. So I'm just so grateful to have you here. It's lovely to sit and talk to you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next time, and we'll see what's going on around here and what I can share with you. Thank you so much for your company. I so appreciate it. Love you all. Bye for now.